Hey everyone, so today I found this really cool article on passing values from HTML into Storyline, and then I also figured out how to pass those values onto your learning management system. So in this tutorial I want to explain exactly that. So this is an article I found. It's by Kostov. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, but it's really helpful, and I want to go into talking about gathering data from HTML documents. So this can be from any kind of an HTML document. It can be from a little widget to a full-blown page that we can gather data from, like how people are interacting with different things. So as I scroll down here, I'll show you guys exactly what I did and how I used his code that is on here. So the first thing is you want to create your storyline file. So open up just a brand new storyline file, and you want to determine what data you want to capture. Do you want to capture someone clicking on a button in a web page? Do you want to capture them hovering over something? What is the type of event that you want to capture? So that's your main goal, and that's what you want to start with, figuring out what kind of data you want to capture. And the first thing that I did was I wanted to capture someone interacting with a button in an HTML page. And this isn't going to be like fancy looking or anything like that. This is just for showing you guys the technical aspect of this. So what I wanted to do was I was going to capture a profile button, but I changed it last minute, so it's just a regular button. So the first thing is I went into Storyline and I created a variable. So in the upper right hand corner where you can manage project variables, you want to create your own text variable, and it can be whatever you want to define your event as. So mine was going to be on this click of a profile, so I called mine profile. You can call it whatever you want. And then once you have that defined, and you can have multiple variables, but for this one we're just going to use one, and then you can click OK. And then what you want to do to make sure that your triggers and everything are interacting and working properly is you want to put this, your variable up here so you can display it. So when I go to hit play, you won't see anything right away, but if I publish this, you would be able to see it once we have the triggers that are telling it to change. The next piece of this is I wanted to talk to my learning management system. So in order to do that, because I may not have some sort of public hosting somewhere, I would want to use a web object. So the thing that you'll have to do is once you have all of this set up, you want to go to File and then Publish your course. And then you want to create, I'll show you guys, you will want to create a folder in here for where your web object will be, or your index.html. So you'll create that, and then you'll go back into Storyline, and you'll say, okay, I'm going to add my web object. So I'm going to go to the Insert tab, then I'm going to go to Web Object, and then I'm going to go explore to that folder that I created, and that one that I created there was called Other. So I have it under Test Tracking and then Other. So when I select that, I have an index.html file in there, and you have to have that in there. And that's what's going to display that. So I click OK, and you want to make sure it works, and you can do this by going to the preview button up here. So we can see we have that little button that I created. But you'll have to create that index.html file, and we'll get more into that later. And you can resize your web object and do all kinds of different things and different positionings with it too. And so the last piece of what we're going to be doing in this storyline file is we are going to execute some JavaScript when our profile variable changes. And this is what's going to send the score to the learning management system, or the data to the learning management system. So when I click on this, when my variable changes, I say get player, and then I'm talking to the learning management system, and I am sending my variable profile to the learning management system. And then I'm also saying that the max score could be 100 and the lowest score possible can be 0. But we're just going to send whatever profile is to there. And then we'll know exactly what it is, what they've clicked on. And so what you'll want to do now is you will want to go and click File and Publish. And once you've published, what you're going to do is you're going to notice that the folder that you already created here, mine's called Other, is going to be gone because you've published over it. So you're going to need to recreate that folder, and you're going to need to put your index HTML file in there. So before you had to have the index.html file in that folder, now you're going to have to put it back. So the index.html file is the one that has all of our information on, our button, whatever you've created that you want to track the interactions on. So for mine, I'm going to open Sublime Text and I'm going to show this. And this is a pretty simple one. I just went and grabbed this off there. So, oops. So here it is. And basically what I had done is taken the code off of cost of site and placed it into my file here. So in the top, you have to put in the script between the head, and this script is saying to execute this script here, basically when you click. So it's executing the script when you click on the button, and the script is saying to set the variable profile to 10. Basically, that's all you need to know. So you can set it to whatever you want. So what will happen is we'll go ahead and run this, and then we'll talk about this a little bit more. So let me go ahead and grab this. So I've got the button here, and you can style it and make it whatever you want it to be. So when I click the button, you can see that it's sending that variable to Storyline. So this is in Storyline, and this is the web object that's embedded. So they're talking to each other. And then also behind the scenes, if this were indeed tied to my learning management system, it would be sending that score of 10 to the learning management system as well, which is pretty nifty. So to talk a little bit more about the script here, this is the event that's happening. It's the on click. So when this happens, it's triggering this to go through. And so it's setting that 10 in the Storyline file. So that's basically it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and hopefully I'll do more of a clear tutorial. This was just a quick fix, and I want to do something more gamified and cool.